Donald Trump has been having a psychotic meltdown all morning. He began at 3 a.m. with posts like this. What will happen next? ? What is this? Some sort of game? Some sick game? What will happen next? That's what you're posting right now while the United States is at war and people are psychologically tortured here. Then Donald Trump posts the following. Mark Kelly, senator from Arizona, needs to be held accountable. Lock him up! ! So also calling for a United States senator to be arrested at like 3 a.m. in the morning. Then around 6 a.m. in the morning, Donald Trump calls up the New York Post and he says, I have really good news regarding U.S.-Iran talks. And the good news could come as soon as Friday. It's possible there's going to be talks. It's possible that we could make a deal. I mean, you're really doing this again. The ceasefire deadline was yesterday. You extended the ceasefire indefinitely when Iran refused to even negotiate with your team in Islamabad, Pakistan, because you lie about everything. And CNN and multiple outlets say that the biggest barrier to getting a deal done is you, not just your naval blockade. It's your social media posts that keep on lying about Iran's negotiating position, which makes it impossible to have any rational discussions with you. It's like an irrational lunatic in the Oval Office. And then this morning, again, right around 6 a.m., Donald Trump posts the following. How can Democrats not like how the U.S. Supreme Court votes? The Democrat justices stick together. Even that new low IQ person that somehow found her way onto the bench, referring to Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson as that low IQ person. Again, as I've always pointed out, that's Donald Trump's insult against black people. He calls all black people low IQ people when he insults them. It's just despicable content. And this is the filth that he's posting. I'm about to go and teach a law school class at USC in the next hour after I finish this video. How do I look my law students in the eyes? How do I look them in the eyes and say, this is the person leading the country right now? Someone who's whining and calling a distinguished Supreme Court justice a low IQ person, even if she wasn't a Supreme Court justice, who uses such petty racist insults. It's the person in the White House. That should sicken you regardless of what if you're a decent human being, that should just make you sick and angry, and we could just never normalize that behavior. He goes on to rail against how he thinks he's going to lose the birthright citizenship case any moment now and how bad it's going to be when birthright citizenship, which is in the Constitution, remains. He attacks the United States Supreme Court for overturning his unlawful tariffs against the world. He's like, now I have to refund $159 billion. That's so unfair. Look, no wonder Donald Trump has the worst approval of any president in United States history, period. He has a lower approval than Richard Nixon at the time Nixon resigned. The latest AP NORC poll has Donald Trump's overall approval at 33%. His approval on handling the economy has tanked to 30%. I expect both of those numbers to be in the 20s soon, which is truly unprecedented territory. And frankly, it's resignation territory. If we had a robust media infrastructure here in the United States, and if the media acted the way I think the MeidasTouch network is, and how we've inspired other independent media to, the pressure should be so overwhelming that Donald Trump and this entire despicable regime should resign. Every single day, the front page story and what should be leading local and national news is how deeply unpopular Trump is. And all media should be doing what the MeidasTouch network is and calling Donald Trump to resign, not being hyperbolic. The guy should absolutely resign. He's detested. He's hated. He's engaged in impeachable offenses 50 times a day, in my opinion. Criminal conduct 50 times a day. I'm giving you my opinion of what happens on a day-to-day protected by the First Amendment, my opinion speech. You could form your opinion, but that's why I'll tell you this guy needs to resign. And shouldn't it be overwhelming? I mean, it's like We know that people hate this guy, but if you watch corporate news, you wouldn't get the feeling that it's that bad when it actually is that bad. And by the way, you all know about the result that happened in Virginia, where the Virginia yes referendum won, which now will amend the Constitution and will create a congressional map 10-1 in favor of Democrats in terms of the Virginia congressional delegation. So this is one of the reasons why Donald Trump is having a meltdown this morning. So while Donald Trump's out there saying talks are going great with Iran, they're going amazing, what is Iran posting? What are they doing, right? This is objective news. Let's figure out what they're saying. Okay, so we learned first thing this morning, while Donald Trump was making that post, that the Iranian Navy says that there are 2 violating vessels which are currently in the territorial waters of the Islamic Republic of Iran, which Iran's Navy has entered these vessels, and they have captured these vessels. It's been independently confirmed that Iranian Navy have attacked a pair of container ships from these 2 ships right here, a Panama flag cargo ship Euphoria, owned by a UAE-based company, and a Liberian flag cargo ship Epimonymous. They tried to go through the Strait of Hormuz without the Iran's Navy's permission, and the Iranian Navy boarded them and interdicted those ships. But Donald, I thought you said Iran has no navy. They were able to interdict those 2 ships pretty easily. So what happened, Donald? I thought the Navy's totally obliterated. And so that's what Iran's doing. Also, Iran's state media Tasnim made a post this morning about the major undersea internet cables in the Strait of Hormuz. They write, the concentration of a large number of internet cables in a narrow passage in the Strait of Hormuz has made the Strait of Hormuz a vulnerable point for the region's digital economy. And so you know how all of those internet cables, a lot of them are like under the seabed, under the water, right? And so what Iran's saying here is keep it up. Snip, snip. We can cut those cables basically and shut out the internet, not just for the Middle East, but for major portions of the entire world. This was a post that Iranian state media made as they're exerting their leverage while Trump is whining and having his meltdown. The Strait of Hormuz, a vital highway for internet cables in the Persian Gulf countries. The Strait of Hormuz is not just a vital route for transporting oil and gas. This narrow waterway is also one of the most important internet bottlenecks in the region and the world. According to submarine network data, at least 7 major communication cables in the Persian Gulf countries pass through this route, while more than 97% of the world's internet traffic is transported through the same fiber optic cables on the seabed. Cables such as the Falcon AAE-1, the TGN Gulf, and the CMEWE connect a significant part of the region's digital connectivity to major data centers in the Middle East, Europe, and Asia. These infrastructures are the backbone of data transmission, e-commerce, cloud services, and online communications in Gulf countries. The concentration of a large number of internet cables in a narrow passage has made the Strait of Hormuz a vulnerable point for the region's digital economy, where cables connect to coastal landing nodes and large data centers in the region after the strait. You understand what Iran's saying? Keep it up, Donald. Keep up this behavior. And if you decide to go to war with us again, if you invade us again, not only will we attack our Arab nation neighbors, we're going to go into the seabed and we're going to cut those cables and we're going to shut down the internet for the world. One of the things that Iran is also boasting about, and this has now been confirmed independently by the Financial Times, at least 34 tankers with links to Iran have bypassed the U.S. blockade, the so-called blockade, since it began, according to the cargo tracking group Vortexa, including several carrying Iranian oil, despite Trump declaring the barricade a tremendous success. I mean, the guy lies about everything. Now, I'll share with you what the Iranian social media accounts are posting this morning as they are mocking Donald Trump for ceasefire extensions. Here's what they just posted on the Iranian social media accounts. Let's play it.
We are having very great negotiations with Iran. If Iran doesn't come to negotiate, we're going to bomb them.
2,000 years later.
So where are the Iranians?
This is from Iran.
All right. Then I will extend the ceasefire at Pakistan's request.
And so they're not just mocking him in Iran, they're mocking Donald Trump in China as well. CNN is reporting how Chinese social media is openly mocking Donald Trump in the Iran war. They're saying the biggest winner is not US or Iran, it's China. Trump is not welcome in Beijing without credibility. What are you coming for? Chinese influencers are saying the petrodollar is ending and Iran is now considering selling its oil only in yuan, the Chinese currency. And they're just mocking Donald Trump. They're saying, thanks, Donald. Why would we even want you here in China? You have no credibility. And in China, the idea of saving face, keeping your word, speaking deliberately are very important things. It should be everywhere. But it's also a culture that exalts this idea and the concept of face saving and all of these things. So they're like, why would we have this loser here? Here, play this clip.
Will Ripley is out front tonight from Taipei.
China's censors not stopping new AI videos like these, mocking President Donald Trump and the Iran war. On Chinese social media, the message is clear. So far, he says, the biggest winner is neither the US nor Iran. It's China.
Good to see you again.
President Trump is set to meet Chinese leader Xi Jinping in Beijing next month. Online reaction, blunt. Trump is not welcome to visit, and even if he comes, it's meaningless. No need to come. Without credibility, what are you coming for? That word keeps coming up, credibility, especially when it comes to ceasefire messaging. The entire White House's credit score combined wouldn't be enough to even unlock a single shared bike. Every day, Trump wakes up and reformats himself into a new Trump. Whatever version he is that day is the one that counts.
This whole thing is really about no nuclear. They cannot have a nuclear weapon.
In China, political speech is tightly controlled, but criticism of Trump seems to be spreading freely.
How does that change the dynamic of this meeting with President Xi?
I don't think it does. I mean, he's somebody that needs oil. We don't.
China is Iran's biggest oil customer. Beijing also dominates green energy and claims to be cutting oil demand by more than 1 million barrels a day. While others are still bashing their heads in over oil, we've already gotten ahead in the next era, he says. Solar, wind, batteries, and electric vehicles. Chinese carmaker BYD now overtaking Tesla in global sales. At the same time, pressure on the US dollar, the backbone of global oil trading. This Iranian embassy post says it's time to add petro-yuan to the market. At one point, Iran considered allowing tankers through the Strait of Hormuz only if oil is sold in Chinese yuan, a senior Iranian official said. Some Chinese influencers say petrodollar is ending. Beijing's not fighting this war, but on China's social media, many are already declaring victory.
And right when we started talking about censorship inside China, Aaron, the signal inside China went to bars and tone. While the U.S. is focused on the war, China's focused on what comes after across energy, currency, supply chains, and diplomacy. China really is trying to position itself right now to win, not by confronting the United States directly, but by presenting itself as the more stable alternative, Aaron.
Yeah, amazing. Just watching all those videos. All right. Well, Ripley, thank you very much. As I said, in Taipei and Taiwan tonight.
And then, of course, you have the Trump regime in disarray at home. The Daily Mail reports how a top-level Trump counterterrorism official is now under investigation amid claims she actively looks for sugar daddies to maintain her exorbitant lifestyle. Raunchy text revealed that sugar daddy sex scandal explodes inside Trump's counterterrorism headquarters. So the Department of Labor, they were going on their vacations and strip clubs and booze-fueled taxpayer-funded trips and all of that. And allegedly, and the labor secretary resigned, and her husband was accused of sexual misconduct inside the Department of Labor building. I mean, I can go on. I mean, you have RFK Jr. chopping off raccoon penises and sleeping with it. We've got top counterterrorism officials doing sugar daddy things, whatever. I don't even know what the hell's going on. What the hell's going on? And what are Republicans on the Hill doing? Here are some bills that they've been introducing lately. Carve Donald Trump's face into Mount Rushmore. Rename the Palm Beach Airport after Trump. Rename Dulles Airport after Trump. Require State Department to award a Trump Peace Prize. Declare Trump's birthday a federal holiday. Award Trump a Congressional Gold Medal. Mint a $250 bill in U.S. currency with Trump's image. Several resolutions urging Trump to be given the Nobel Peace Prize. Directing the NIH to conduct research on Trump derangement syndrome. Then finally, I'll share with you this brief clip right here. This is congressional testimony this morning. Howard Lutnick being cross-examined by Democratic Senator Shaheen on how America's attacks on Canada are causing Canada to launch a successful boycott against the United States. Let's play it.
Canada's economy leans on the incredible $30 trillion economy of America. But
there's no doubt about that, Mr. Secretary. But insulting our closest ally and neighbor who provides a lot of business. We have a lot of businesses in New Hampshire, small businesses who work on both sides of the border. We have all those Canadian visitors who are not coming because of your comments and comments by the administration. How does that help our economy?
It is outrageous that Canada will not put U.S. spirits on the shelf. It is insulting.
It is.
And disrespectful to America that they won't even put...
And my husband has an interest in a company that has American spirits. And they won't do it because of the insults from this president and comments like yours. So I want to go on to another question.
But can I have just one small comment, which is dairy is treated so badly, and your state cares about dairy, and we are trying desperately to get them to live to the deal that they have on USMCA. And
there you have it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Help us get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.